but I'm here and I'm going to make it worth your while. My name is Lisa Dublin, and I'm in a really great mood this morning. I'm a health and life coach. I help you to live, to speak, and to lead with confidence. And I just have a renewed faith in everything that I do, which is why I came up with the topic this morning. Keep on going, breakthrough is coming. So please tell me where you're watching me from, what platform, and what country are you watching me from. Put it in the chat. I'd love to know this morning. So, you guys, a couple of things before we get into our message today, and just the inspiration. This is especially for the innovators, the people who are doing things that nobody else is doing, perhaps in your country, in your culture, in your race, in your part of the world. Nobody else is doing it. And you don't think it's working. I want to give some encouragement this morning because that's exactly where I am. So before I go on, a couple things. Do you know that the podcast came out today? And you guys, I'm just really thankful, really, really thankful. Let me just put it on the screen right now for you. This is today's podcast. Go listen to it wherever you get your podcast, on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you can literally just subscribe to Basement Chronicles, and every time a new podcast comes up, you will be able to enjoy it, get notified. Make sure you press the all of the notifications so you know when I upload new stuff. I think I'm good, people. Okay. I think I provide value. I think I help your world to be more positive and more cheerful and to keep you going, to give you that extra information and motivation to be your best and to keep on doing what works. So go listen to today's podcast. I speak about the book Think and Grow Rich. If you've heard about it, if you have read it and perhaps didn't even think it was very valuable, or if you've just heard about it and you want to know more about it, listen to today's podcast. What I have purpose to do is that every 10 episodes I'm going to look at a book that has changed my life. In episode number 10, I looked at Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it has been one of the most seminal books in my life, apart from the Bible, apart from the fourth dimension. That's another book. I'll probably do it at episode 30 because that was another seminal one. Oh my goodness, right? And this one, Think and Grow Rich, is always quoted when you hear people talk about the books that have expanded their minds and help them to have an increased capacity for wealth. This is one of them, and it has done the same thing for me. So, you guys, please go listen to the podcast. Let me put it up again wherever you find your podcast. I want to encourage you not just to listen, but to subscribe. When you subscribe to a podcast, you're subscribing to a way of life, a thought process that you agree with. And for the most part, I hope I provide value for you. I hope I'm proving to you that consistency definitely is part of what I do. This is episode number 20. And, I found a formula and I teach the formula to my clients. I've found a formula for consistency. It is a couple things, right? And the fruit of it, the proof of it is that you are able to keep on showing up at the same time, every time, and give people value. That's what it's about. Second thing, we just have a couple spots for Speak with Confidence. Cohort 8. See it up there? Speak with Confidence, Cohort 8. Learn how to become a confident and authentic speaker. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Right here in the chat, I have just put the link for you to just sign up for a consultation with me. Listen, make a decision and then decide. If you want to attend Speak with Confidence, make a decision right now. I didn't ask you how you're going to do it, none of the things. You first make the decision, I'm going to do it. And if that's your decision, quickly click on that link, set up a consultation with me, a perfect fit call, and you and I will discuss the ways in which you can get into this year's program. I'm only having one cohort this year. This program changes lives. This program increases confidence to the point where that confidence in speaking and communication, it spills over into the rest of your life. How do I know that? Because I have dozens of clients and dozens of graduates to prove it. So let's have a chat. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com. facebook.com/SWC, and you can see all the testimonials. That's not even all of them. That's just who decided that they wanted to take a step further and put out a testimonial. But everybody's getting success in their personal lives and private lives and professional lives because of Speak with Confidence. And this is not even, it works. I'm proud of this program. In the last while, we have added on the continuous learning, because even after you do a 5-week program, the way that I know to teach speaking and how confidence works is that it is a muscle, it is practice. The only way that you can learn to public speak is to continue to public speak and to get evaluation, to adjust, go back, try it again, and come back better. And that's what we do with the continuous learning in the speaking school, which is the virtual learning hub. We meet once a month to continue to learn about speaking, refine people's speaking skills, make presentations, and learn about the industry. So, having said that, let me tell you why I'm so excited. Ladies out there, I need some help this morning. Tell these guys around you what happens when a woman shows up in red lipstick. Well, mine is kind of red. It's not so red. But when a woman shows up in red lipstick, you bet, right? She's not playing. Right? And that's exactly how I feel this morning. This week, I was listening to a podcast, and I love podcasts. I hope you love podcasts with me. Let's love podcasts together, because they are a free way of getting information and getting into somebody's world and learning more about how people think, new ideas, etc., etc. Okay, so come into the podcast world with me. Anywho, I was listening to a podcast this week by one of my favorite people. She's my coach from afar. I've taken her coaching programs and learned a whole lot. She's oh my goodness, Stacey Bayman. And her podcast is called Make Money as a Life Coach, which is where I got my start, kind of. After I did my certification, then the next step was, hey, I've got the skills. How do I make money with this? And she taught me how to do that. So I took her initial program, I aced it, did what she said I could do, and then I went on to her master certification and into her mastermind. And that too is working as well. And so I listened to her. I listened to what she has to say because she makes sense. And on Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday, when her podcast came out, Stacey Bayman was so enthused. You guys, listen to that podcast, and you will hear the energy in a woman who believes in what she has to say and to offer to the world. And what she did is, with her people, she has a big team, and they've been doing this mastermind, coaching mastermind, for a long while. With her people, they did a study of the success rates, of which I am part of it. So the success rates of those people who've gone through her program, and the results were so outstanding that she came on to present those statistics about the increase in life coaching in the world and how people are taking to it, and the success of the students who have followed what she has taught with such a meticulous and measured way that you have, if you follow what she says, you get results. And seeing her, hearing her story about when she wanted to be a coach, she first went out to get coaching. She had 2 spoons in her home, right? While she was setting up her coaching business. And she was coaching people left, right, and center, and knowing that this thing, it worked for her. And she knew that it could work for other people. Now she's seeing the fruit of it, like being a multimillionaire and taking her business further, following certain people in the industry very closely as well. Like, she is the perfect student, the kind of student I think that I am as well, and that I love working with, the kind of person who is hungry for knowledge, hungry to get better, and will do anything that is asked of them to move the needle in their favor. She is that kind of person, and so am I. Humbly, I say so, right? And what struck me about that podcast was the sheer satisfaction of having persevered with a thing and then seeing in real time the results of it. I always like, when I come to present something to you, to turn it on you and to ask you the question: are you a pioneer in any area of your life? Is there anything that you are trying to do in the world, and maybe you don't think it's working? Maybe it is hard at this point. People aren't taking to it. People aren't subscribing, are not like being so welcoming with the thing that you want to do in the world? Could it just be that you are planting a seed so deep in that soil of your audience? When it starts to grow, it will just simply continue growing. You can't see it right now because it's still underground. It's still bearing itself deeply into the consciousness of people. You guys, I feel that way about coaching, about speaking, and of course, the poetry and the writing, which I think comes a little more, even more naturally to me. But I wish that every single person in the world just had the opportunity, if they wanted to be coached. Coaching helps you manage your mind. And hearing that podcast and the results and the way that other people in the world are coming onto this industry in droves, that it is expected to make billions of dollars this year. It is expected to make billions of dollars, not because, yes, you have the cowboy coaches. I've coached some people who have been very burnt by other coaches. They have gone into programs thinking that they will get individualized attention, and especially for Black people, especially for immigrants. Going into programs where people don't care about you and who you are, where your accent in a way cancels you out in a way that your money doesn't. Okay, it didn't matter that you paid the same price as everybody else. You don't end up getting the same thing as other people because somehow the isms and the prejudices of the people who are providing service are not skewed in your favor. No, there's another way. There are coaches out there like me who can provide this service for people like you. Come, let's get into a session together and let's see what can be done, because you are important and you have something to offer the world. And when, like, I've always been a pioneer. I was thinking about what I was going to say today and be like, I was like, Lisa, you've always done this, like being the first to step out and to do something and to be like the unicorn waving this flag. I'm like, where's everybody? And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let me give you guys a joke, and then we get into the benefits of coaching. I just want to encourage people who are doing new things in the world, especially my Caribbean coaches and those people doing stuff like conferences and so, like, don't give up. We need it. The immigrant population needs this with all the pressures that we face in the workplace, all of the isms, the microaggressions. Oh my goodness, we need coaches to be in our corner, not just to say, oh, they just are against you. No, but to teach you how to manage your mind and to see what the plan is and to counter that with the excellence that you know and that you are known for, that you know you can give and that you are known for. So let me give you guys a joke. So back in the day, this must have been about 2000 or 2008 when I started my business, Optimum Success Strategies. If you've bought from me, the receipts come from my company, whatever. Okay. Anywho, I got this. I was teaching at the time, lecturing, but I so wanted to do something else. Like, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to set up this company. I got a book called fabjob.com. I don't know if you guys know that. I think they're still around. Fabjob.com tells you how to go into different careers. So I took this one about how to be an image consultant. Okay. And I went off to learn how to be an image consultant. I flew to New York. I got certified with, I forgot what Sterling Style Academy. And that itself was a whole other experience. But I came back to my little 238 square miles as an image consultant. Nobody wanted what I had to offer. Nobody wanted to talk about like VPL, visible panty lines, and how to make your body like, how to dress so that your butt is not that big. Like, hello, you know that has been reversed, right? Like, we want to dress to show it. Right? I won't forget that. I won't forget getting there and realizing my market didn't fit what I had to offer. But that is the beauty of entrepreneurship, that you learn to do it a certain way. And so I quickly had to pivot. I did all the things. I had a radio show. I had a column in the newspaper that taught a lot of people how to do interviews and all of that. I kind of pivoted into training, and then I added in elements of image consulting into it. And so my market wasn't ready then, but seeds were planted. How do I know that now? Because right now, in my little 238 square miles, it's a big thing. We have image consultants, and I can think of Vanessa in particular, one of my ex students, who is crushing it as an image consultant. And so I look back and, it's nice to be a pioneer, but you also want to be able to work it so that you can profit out of it and that you can benefit from it in the moment. So you have to learn to be relevant. For me back then, being relevant was pivoting the business to include elements of image consulting in training, business training, and I still do it. I still do like professionalism, conflict resolution, just getting along and being your professional self. I did tons of these seminars in St. Lucia, and even here I still continue to do them, and I've managed to incorporate the image consulting, especially when I do interviews. I remember one of my earliest clients was a pilot, and I trained with him. He came in for interview training, and he was what this was way back in like 2011 or 13, and we were already using Skype to conduct the trainings because he was in the Middle East and I was training him, and we went through the whole thing, looked at his wardrobe. What do you want to wear? Taught him about the colors, how your belt is supposed to match the socks, etc., and how where the tie is supposed to be in the middle of the belt buckle. It should not be below your waist. Like, what's this? No. Okay, guys, right? So I teach those things still. And I find like even the guys are a lot more open to getting the image consulting. But here's the thing, fast forward, and I'm teaching speaking. And it is part of the components of what I teach. How do you look on stage? How do you dress so that your clothing, how you stand, your posture, everything about you sends a message? How do you create a brand with yourself so that before you know it, people think of you a certain way because of what you put out there in the world, from how you dress to how you speak to the things that you consistently do. I teach that in Speak with Confidence. So, all of that to say, if it is number one, if it is you're doing something new and there doesn't seem to be any kind of traction, then you might need to pivot. But for the most part, many of us give up before it is time, before we have the breakthrough. You know how they say, and those people who are discouraged, listen to me very clearly. You know how they say just before the dawn is when it's darkest? Many times, as a pioneer, you experience that. There might be a period of drought, and then you just get the clients one after the other. There might be a period when so many people tell you no, and then they begin to catch it. One person opens a door, that opens another door, that opens another door. You can't afford to give up. When I really thought about the topic and thinking back to Stacy, here's the thing that drives whether you stick with it or not. And I want to ask you that question, um, you know, honestly this morning. Do you believe in what you're offering the world? Do you believe in what you offer the world? I fully, comprehensively, confidently, absolutely believe in coaching. You know why? Because coaching changed my life. Coaching changed my life. I got two sets of coaching: life coaching, which I'm in now, and business coaching. And very early, my first coach was also my personal trainer, who I no longer have. And that's how I know that there's a difference, because the things that I was doing back then with him and the kind of way he pushed me, I have not been able to replicate it on my own. And that is the power of having your coach. That is the power of having somebody who will not accept your crap. You know what I said? Some people might be listening. This might be on the commute. So I don't want the kids to hear these words. Somebody who will not take the story you're giving and say, why not? I know you can do better. Yes, you can. Just this week, or last week it was, I challenged a client to finish a course. Dilly darling, had a lot to do. Yes, I understand. Yes, all of the things. But I know you. You can get this done. And she came back to session this week and it was not complete, But it was at a point where she would not have been had she not been challenged to go further. A coach takes you further. You guys, when I go to the gym, right? Like I can pack a good workout by myself. But the kind of way that I used to be pushed. I remember one time my trainer was coaching me at the time, and I was so tired on that turf. I had to go to the bathroom. I had, Lord jeez, like, no. I got into the locker room, and this other woman who had been training with her trainer next to me on the turf at Good Life, she was in the bathroom as well. And she's like, why is he pushing you so much? Are you okay? No, no, this is the result. This is the result of pushing me so much. This is what happens when you have somebody in your corner. And I'm talking especially right now to those people who have so much potential. Having a coach does not mean you're weak. Having a coach means you recognize your potential and you are not willing to just have potential. I want it to be realized. I want it to be developed. I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be the superlative in my life, in my lane, whatever it is. That's what a coach does. And I've seen some of my clients just simply take off because they have yielded themselves to the process of coaching. You have to want to be coached. I think it comes from a realization that I have so much to accomplish. I dare not try to do it on my own. I won't get there as full as I won't get as much done, and I won't do it as quickly as if I have a coach. Most people struggle with consistency. Why? I have a couple reasons. I have a couple suggestions as to why we struggle with consistency. We don't want it um, bad enough. That's the first one. Secondly, there's no system in place. Thirdly, there is no accountability, right? If I remember, like, making sure it's the same thing like you're going to the dentist and you make sure the week before you brush your teeth like morning, noon, and night. You floss like you never flossed before. Right? If you knew you had to go to the dentist every week, you would be doing that kind of regimen because you knew that somebody would be holding you accountable. It is the same thing with coaching. So hearing Stacey Bayman just go off with such energy and love and passion and renewed faith because the statistics showed her that she was on the right track, did the same thing for me. I'm like, here I am, this Caribbean immigrant coach who is like, this is a worthy career. This is a career that can change lives. It has changed lives. I've seen it in my clients' lives. As a speaking coach, as a life coach, I've seen changes, especially with those people who've been with me for a while. The changes, like you keep on coming back every week, not because you continue to be deficient, but because you come in, you solve for one thing, and you're like, hey, stuck in this area. I want it in this other area. Let's go. That's what I do with my coaches. And that's what I hope you do too. I hope you hear this. And I hope you look in the mirror and you recognize I'm a heavyweight. I have too much potential to sit down there. Let me get a coach. And I hope you give me a call. No, I do. No. And so to those people out there, tag somebody who's being a coach. I need to tell you, come out. Offer what you offer. We need you. Our society, our race, our culture needs people who can help others with conflict resolution, who can help people to manage their minds. Let me tell you something. I saw the benefit of coaching for my own self and the way that I have grown as a person in the last year, submitting to my coaches, submitting to the process of learning how to deal with my mind. And I'm going to bring my sister on at some point. I've already told her. So my sister's here, and it's just a new thing. Like we didn't famously get along, okay? We're very different. We are literally 1 year apart. Exactly, is it a year and a day? I am born on the 31st of October. And the next year, she was born on the 30th of October. Is there anybody out there like that? I forgot what they call them. Right? I forgot. Is it Irish twins they call them? No, is it? I forgot. Maybe not. But anywho, it's so new this time. Number one, we're older. But number two, there's just the acceptance, and maybe I've changed, so we've all changed. Yeah, I've changed, so we've all changed. I don't know, but I am we're different this time. We just accept each other. We're having fun. We're talking, we're discussing deep things. And, it's, and I'm like, look at the power of coaching. Look at the power of coaching to be able to help you to get to a place where what you could not do before, you can do now. My dream is that every single person is able to experience the power of coaching and come in, get coached, get your mind in the gym, and then go out and do new things, better things. Have people be like, oh, this person is different. What happened? And you're like, that's the power of being able to learn to manage my mind and my life to a point where I can show up differently. Because it's really not a matter of what the other person is doing. When you change, even though the situation stays the same, if you change, you get a different result. That's it about coaching. So, like, I am on fire, going out to do a whole bunch of other things with my people, the professional and executive women who I coach and who I help to be their best selves. It's not a matter of showing up perfect. No, you bring it into the coaching session. Don't worry, I'll hold space for you. I bring your stuff. Bring it in. Want to discuss it. This is where it gets messy. This is where you get to lay it all out and kind of sort through your mind, look at what you want to keep, what you want to do with it, make a decision, decide what you're going to do, be held accountable for the next time, and you move on. And then you to outside, to the world outside, you just appear put together, focused, unruffled by the nitpicking and all of the things that can get in the way of you not being your best. So, whatever the thing you are pursuing, right, at a meta level, if you are that pioneer, that innovator, if you are doing new things that people have not known that they want, so I've always been in that space. Like, I figure people will want it. I don't often test it, so I get into trouble sometimes. But for the most part, it's not a matter of whether the offer is right. It's a matter of you making the offer right. A matter of you being such a no-brainer to have a coach that every single person thinks that way because you so firmly believe in what you say and what you do. So if you are that pioneer, keep on going. It just might be the seeds are still being planted. When that thing shoots up, it's going to be to your advantage. You will see the fruit of all your labor. Now, of course, when I was thinking about this, I wrote down a couple things. It's not just a matter of blindly keep on going. You get no results, no traction, and you still keep on going. There has to be evaluation. Okay. There has to be evaluation. There has to be adjustment. There has to be creativity to what you offer to make it relevant to the society and the market that you want to offer it to. All of the things. But do not lose the core certainty in your head that what you want to offer is good and valuable to people. If you believe it, go out and prove it. That's where we don't start from. We start from, oh my gosh, people are not going to like it. They're going to laugh. Nobody's going to like. Who cares? Figure out a way to show people how valuable it is. The one thing that has always worked in my favor is to also be a student of the thing that I want to offer. I teach speaking, I speak. I coach people, I myself get coached. So the way that you show up and speak with conviction, it comes from an absolute certainty that I've got the proof that what I'm saying is right. And I've proven it to myself. Doesn't always happen in that way. But for the most part, if you are offering something to the world and you figure like nobody seems to want it, ask yourself the question, how deeply do you believe in it? And if you believe in it, It's okay to be the voice out there in the wilderness. It won't be very long. You might be in a wilderness, but every time you show up, every time you present people with this idea and tell them how great this thing is, you are literally planting seeds. Very soon, that wilderness will turn into an oasis, not just for you, but for everybody else. There are other coaches, and I look at them in the industry, right in the Caribbean, or as immigrant coaches. I'm like, you should be out there flinging your stuff out there, saying, "Hey, you need help? I can help you. Come, let's make our society and our minds better because we ourselves are better for it." Oh my goodness. Do you hear the energy this morning? That's it. And I feel the same way about the speaking. I feel the same way. Just the confidence of being able to stand up there, the freedom that I've gone through the process. I'm better for it. I've learned some skills. I've got an entire backing of my cohort, of my coach, of the entire Speak with I'm good. Let's go. I've learned stuff that I can apply and make better. I've learned stuff that can make me the kind of speaker that people want to listen to. So I want to invite you into my world. I want to invite you to speak with confidence if you have that ilk, or to invite you into the relationship of coaching because, like, it's already a big thing, and it's going to be a really big thing because of its value, because people recognize if I work with a coach, I am better for it. I go faster, bigger, better. Like, listen, do what you have to do. Get with a coach. That's a nice place to end, don't you think? Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm excited. And I also did just do a run, okay? So, like, all the adrenaline, all the everything is right there. And I'm wearing red lipstick, that too. I want to stop here. I'm gonna jump on Instagram because I didn't put on my Instagram and I think I want to talk to them. So don't forget to go out and listen to the podcast. Like, come on, do that. Why not? Why not get that kind of information, and you can learn about this book. This is episode 20, books that changed my life. Okay, I am going to leave you guys alone this morning because I am just like blazing. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow, same time on Basement Chronicles Live. See you.